here on our big program. We will be going to the old Skip Skype. Yes, the Skype-a-rooney. And we have got our next guest who is going to be joining us live as live can get here on our big, big broadcast. So, I know, just because I am Jiggy Jag the Ugly American, I know I'm going to butcher your name. So I'm going to let you do your own introduction, my friend. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Tayiha, and I'm a 17-year-old singer-songwriter, raised in Brisbane, Australia. And yeah, I've been making music since I was about 14 years old, and been writing since I was like 8. And just have been releasing a bunch of singles since then, so yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about how you got started doing the music thing.
Ooh, I think it's just always been something I've been interested in. I've been like singing before I could talk. I've always been singing music, and it's just my way of like expressing myself, I guess. So it's just been something that I naturally got into.
That is awesome. That is fantastic. So you have a new single out there. Before we get to that, tell us a little bit about just your social media and how we connect with you online and how we support your efforts.
Okay, so pretty much you can find me on all streaming platforms, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and I'm on Instagram, so it's just Tayiha, Tayiha, just to make it complicated, .official, and Facebook, same thing, just Tayiha, and YouTube, Tayiha, pretty much. You can find me on, I think, about everything, yeah, so, yeah.
That is awesome. So, you've got this brand new single out there. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so what I needed, just dropped today actually, so that's pretty exciting. It's been a bit of a process. I wrote it, I think probably at the start of the year, to like maybe end of last year. And it's funny because the song wasn't even originally called What I Needed. It was called Hover Over, and the concept was completely different, but I felt like during like the recording process, I wasn't relating to it enough anymore, and so I like completely stripped it, completely changed the concept, and my producer actually had COVID, so we had to ship everything to my house, and I set up everything in my room, and then we recorded from my room, and yeah, it turned out pretty well. I was really nervous though, because I was like, we're not in a studio, it's not going to turn out well, but it turned out pretty well. And yeah, so I have a music video that's been fully done, but it's not out yet. It'll be out in probably like 2 weeks, so yeah, that's pretty exciting. But I think it's my favorite song so far, or like top 2. And I just think I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it, and I think it's a fan favorite as well, so yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, who are some of your musical heroes and influences?
Ooh. I would say one of my biggest influences is probably Ellie Goulding. She's actually the first vinyl that I ever bought, so yeah, I have a record, and I would say, who else do I get inspiration from? I've been listening a lot to the 1975 recently. I think it's like a super cool sound, and I'd love to like bring back that sort of 80s sounding like drums and like effects and stuff, and I think it's really cool what they're doing. But yeah, Alicia Keys is another one. I really like her. She has a great sense of like her songwriting ability, and how she has like a lot of ballads out at the moment, but also does stuff that's like pop music that you would hear on the radio as well, but she does both, and I feel like me as an artist, that's something that I want to do. I want to sort of venture into like all sort of genres and like do pretty much about everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Tayiha joins us here on our big broadcast. She is fantastic. She has been doing some amazing things. So tell me a little bit about your social media following.
Okay. The social media following. Yeah, so like I said before, you can find me on all social medias. I feel like on my social media, I've been very like up to date with it lately. I was lacking for a very long time. I feel like I wasn't connecting with the audience, but that's something that I'm definitely trying to do more with my socials at the moment. And yeah, it's been working pretty well. I feel like I've seen a big increase with following and with my social media and with my Spotify streams. So it's all going pretty well at the moment. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you have managed to make a pretty decent impact with your stuff on TikTok. What is your secret to figuring out this whole TikTok thing?
It's complicated. It's so complicated. There's like a whole algorithm that you have to like follow, and there's always different trends, and what's cool one week, the next week is not cool anymore. So it's completely difficult to follow. I feel like my secret is just doing content that I like to watch. If I am, I mean, I watch my own TikToks, which is sounds a bit stubborn, but I do watch my own TikToks, and I enjoy the content I make. And I feel like that's the biggest thing. If you don't enjoy what you're making, then how do you expect other people to enjoy what they're receiving? And yeah, I mean, I do all sorts of content. I feel like with TikTok, it's probably best to sort of stick to one thing and then just be like constantly pumping out videos. But yeah, I kind of struggle with that because I like to talk about a bunch of stuff, not just like music related, but pretty much everything. And yeah, I think with TikTok, just make a bunch of videos and constantly put them out because that gets people engaged. And I've noticed a big impact with my TikTok as soon as I just would consistently put out videos. Yeah.
Well, you've put a lot of time and effort into your stuff. You've got a lot of great stuff going on out there. So your Instagram following. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things you do on Instagram.
Yeah, so a lot of my Instagram stuff is sort of just stripped back versions of my originals, or like covers of people that I listen to, or covers of like artists that I feel like are similar to myself. But it's also got like the promotional side of things, also like lifestyle stuff as well. I post a lot of videos of like workout routines and things that I'm also interested in, like aside from music. And I feel like that gets a lot of the audience engaged with you as like an individual rather than an artist. Which it's cool to get them engaged as an artist because at the end of the day, that's what they're there for. That's what you want people to be looking at. You want people to be looking at your art and listening to your music, but it's also important to sort of create that individual connection with them. And I feel like I do that through just being myself on the internet and showing stuff that I like, that I'm actually doing at that moment, and things that I actually like doing. And yeah, it's been pretty well. Everything's turned out really well. It's all sort of going uphill at the moment. It got stuck for a while, but which was a bit disheartening. But you get sort of you understand what you're doing wrong, and then through all the algorithms and all the complicated stuff with what's trending and what people like to see on your page. I use a lot of my analytics, like where you can see where your audience is most likely from, or I guess so it shows like your target audience, which helps me a lot with the content I make. But yeah, it's just stuff that I like to do. If I'm just playing on my piano, I'll just record a little cover there. Or if I'm just like messing around on my guitar on my bed, like I just will record a content for Instagram or for Facebook. And yeah, it's just me. It's social media is what I'm presenting, but I try and present the bad parts as well, as the good parts, because I feel like we all sort of try and just present the good parts of social media, and it's all sort of like fakeish, I guess, and we all put up an image. But I'm trying to get away from that, just because I feel like it's important for myself and it's important for other people to see the bad parts and good parts of everything, and the complicated relationship with music. I get stuck all the time when writing music, and I know a lot of artists relate to that, so I always try and put out content that sort of shows that, but also content that I just like enjoy watching. So
That's awesome. So where do you think you get most of your engagements, I guess, on social media from?
most of my engagements, like which platform or
Yeah, yeah. Where do you get most of your traffic from?
oh, probably Instagram. I feel like it's mainly because I'm more on Instagram all the time. Like it's the only social media platform that I actually like use, whether like personal stuff as well. Like I feel like with Facebook, I don't really use Facebook for personal stuff. Although I do have a personal account on Facebook, I don't really use it. But yeah, I'd say Instagram is probably where I get most of my content like uploaded first, and sort of where I'm just like engaged more. And then with like I guess, oh, I was talking about the analytics and how you can sort of look at like um, where your audience is mostly based. That helps me a lot. I've found out that a lot of my audience is based in the United States, so that helps with like when I put out content, with like time zones, and then some here in Australia, in the UK. I think those are my top three. So that stuff affects sort of when I like to put out my content, because I try and get most of my audience to be awake during the time that I'm putting out stuff. But yeah.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, talking a little bit about her music and some of the different things that she's involved in. So who are some of the different folks that you've worked with over your time?
Yeah, so I've been working with my producer, Stuart Stewart, since I was 14 years old. That's when I first started putting out music, and he's produced all my music, and we've worked together on definitely like a personal level. He's helped me a lot with my songwriting, and he gets me to be involved with the production side of things as well, and he's been great to work with. And then I've obviously got, with music videos, I've been filming music videos since I was 15 years old, so my videographer Connor, he's been doing every single music video that I put out, and yeah, I've obviously worked with artists, at school. I just finished actually my diploma, and it was for sound engineering, so it's sort of like a very music-based environment, and I get to work with a lot of like production students and a lot of singers and songwriters themselves, and then a lot of sound engineers. So that was a pretty cool experience. And yeah, I've just I've always sort of been in music-based environments, whether that's with like I did Creative Generation when I was like 11, I think, and it was just musicians. So I've always been in sort of those environments, and had the opportunity to sort of work with a lot of different people, from all different sides of music, whether that's artist, or the production side with producers, or even like film side. I've worked with a few actors as well who have been in my music videos and are lovely people. So yeah, I've just worked with quite a few people from like all sorts of different side of entertainment. Mm.
We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, talking a little bit about her music. So, with your, I guess, name, is this your actual like God-given name, or is this a stage name?
It's my real name. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
My mum had a best friend called Tayiha, and this was like when she was like really little, and she actually named me after her. But they wanted it to be sort of more unique, so I guess they added a bunch of silent letters, which is cool. It is unique, and I met a lot of Tayas that spell it the same way I do, but you know, it's get complicated at times because every time I'm like introduced on stage, someone's gonna mispronounce it, but it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you almost need a pronunciation guide when you when you talk to some of these people, because I'm sure you've had that. What are some of the different versions of your name that you've been told over the years? I would love to hear how this name has been screwed up over the years.
I've gotten, since I was like a kid, the most common way of saying it is Tayiha, which makes no sense to me because there's not an E. So I don't know how people are getting that, or like Taya.
I can see that, but the first one, what the hell are they thinking?
Yeah. I've gotten that so much since I was a child, but yeah, those are probably the two like main ones.
That is amazing. We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast. Where do you see yourself in a couple years? What is some of the plans that you have?
Ooh. I see myself just doing what I'm doing now, but having a bigger audience. I want to sort of start producing my own music. So I have the songwriting and performing side of things, but obviously, I studied sound engineering, so I wanted to sort of do the production side of things and production side of music. And yeah, I'm hoping next year to probably put out an EP that's like completely done by me, like mixed and mastered and written and produced and everything. And I feel like that's my main goal at the moment. But yeah, it's just sort of continuing with what I'm doing and sort of just growing as an artist, growing as an individual, messing around with different genres and different styles of music to sort of find my sound.
That's awesome. Well, you are fantastic. You are so well spoken. Because I have had many an artist on this broadcast, and some of these people, they can't get across their music or something. I don't know what it is, but
I think
you have you know who you are, and you know your stuff. I just think that's great.
Thank you. It's sometimes very difficult though. Like I completely understand why it's difficult for artists, because your art is like something that you feel like a lot of people don't understand. So sometimes it's like if you're creating an art, you want people to take that art. You don't want to have to like explain it to people. You just want people to sort of get their own perspective on it, understand it, and just put it out, and then wait for everyone's feedback. So sometimes it is difficult to sort of explain your music because it's like it's your creativity in your head. So sometimes it's hard to put that in words. that's why a lot of people write music, because that's the way that they can express it and what they're thinking. So I completely get it. But
usually what I do is I tell artists, I'm like, if you know yourself and you know your stuff, you'll do fine. that's and I think we've lost her. I think we lost her because the internet, kids. There we are. Okay. I don't know what happened. It's probably technology. Sometimes I just wish we'd go back to the typewriter. But we are going to do this. I am going to put you on a brief hold, and we are going to play your song, and then when we come back, we are going to talk a little bit about it. So we will be right back, and here it is. It is What I Needed, and it's here on your big, big program. It always helps to hit play.
When the lightning hits all the lines, we'll make our way through the wires. I'm starting to think that this'll turn out alright. Free falling before I met you, both feet on the ground, so let's put down some roots. I'm already in every time I look at you. When the fear goes away and the sky it all fades, the storms and the rain. This love's gonna walk the river. Now I see it. You're what I needed. Everything makes sense when I'm with you. I believe it. You're what I needed. Let's just take our time, leave it all behind. I don't ever need a second guess this, 'cause I'm already yours, always will be mine from the first minute. You're what I needed. You're what I needed. I'm learning to live my life slow and taking these moments, don't ever let go. Who I really am, you're the only one that's ever known. When you look at my soul through my eyes, you know what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to hide. I'm no longer cynical, you're making me feel alive. When the fear goes away and the sky it all fades, the storms and the rain. This love's gonna walk the river. Now I see it. You're what I needed. Everything makes sense when I'm with you. I believe it. You're what I needed. Let's just take our time, leave it all behind. I don't ever need a second guess this, 'cause I'm already yours, always will be mine from the first minute. You're what I needed. You're what I needed. Baby, if we keep this here, hold me near. Oh, know you'll be there, drying up my tears. It's all clear. Oh, this love's gonna walk the river. Now I see it. You're what I needed. Everything makes sense when I'm with you. I believe it. You're what I needed. Let's just take our time, leave it all behind. I don't ever need a second guess this, 'cause I'm already yours, always will be mine from the first minute. You're what I needed. Whoa, I was on it from the beginning, yeah.
That is Tayiha. She joins us live here on our big program. So let's go back to her. She joins us live here on our big program. So that song is amazing. Tell me a little bit about your writing process and putting that whole thing together, my friend.
Yeah, so what I needed is just a song that I sort of wrote about what I was going through with like relationships and friendships, and it's a song that sort of shows the personal struggles within a relationship, or personal struggles within just like communicating and connecting with someone on a personal level, because if you're sort of going through your own difficulties and your own sort of problems, it's hard to communicate that with someone, and it's hard to work with someone essentially, and it's just a song to show the positives of it and how something or someone can help you through things, but also sort of like the negative side of things, where it's like, I'm going through this, and I know that you're trying to help me, but I need to help myself first, and it just shows all emotions of it. I wanted to sort of put that into a song where it's not just positive with a relationship. It's also showing the bad sides of things, and also the difficulties of it, and especially when you're both going through issues, and I think it's a really cool song. I sort of wanted to try something different. I feel like it's quite different to the music that I'm like used to making with like the production side of things. Like it's a lot more, I don't know, like it's just the song that I released before this was a ballad called Drifting Away, and I just want all my music to sort of be the same and be where people can understand it's me, but also change it up a bit, and write a ballad here and then put out a song like this, which is completely different in my opinion. And yeah, that's sort of like the songwriting process. I mean, it's like every other songwriting process. You come up with a bunch of ideas, you come up with a bunch of concepts, and then they completely change. Like I said, how I changed the concept midway through the recording process, and that was something I'd never really done before, because usually I'd just settle on an idea, but I was like, I don't really want to settle on this idea and this concept when I'm going through this at the moment. I want it to be personal, and I want it to be sort of up to date. I feel like whenever I release music, it's always about a situation that happened like a year ago, and whenever I sing that or perform that, it's like I'm not going through that anymore, so I can't have as much sort of emotion and like personal feeling behind it. So I just changed it, and it turned out well, and I actually think it's better. I think it's a lot better, the concept. I think a lot more people can relate to it, and yeah, it's just like every other writing process. And I feel like the recording process was definitely way different, because I'm just so used to like being in the studio, and I've sort of built a habit on that, but I had to like set up everything myself, which I was studying that at school, but like still kind of nerve-wracking to have to set up all the technical side of things. But like I said before, it turned out really well, and I'm really happy with the result, and the music video fits the concept very well, and I'm excited for that one to be released. But yeah, it turned out very well, and I'm really happy with the result.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big program. So what is next for you as an artist?
What is next for me as an artist? Oh, just sort of building up my like musical ability. I feel like just improving everything, whether that's like my with piano or like guitar. I definitely want to like, I feel like I know the basics, and I used to know a lot more, but I don't take any lessons anymore, so I sort of just like was like, oh, I'm fine with the basics, but I sort of, if I'm going to produce my own music, I want to have creative ideas in there, and if I can't physically do that, then I can't sort of put those ideas into a song. And so just sort of improving with my instruments, improving with my songwriting, with my production side of things, with the use of like software doors and stuff. I feel like I just sort of want to venture into everything and just try everything out, you know. I like everything in the entertainment industry, you know, everything writing based. I screenwrite as well, so sort of
That's
venturing into
awesome.
pretty cool, yeah. And so like the film side of things, but obviously my like roots are based in music. But just sort of trying everything out. I remember like a few months ago, I was like, I want to go out and like DJ, and I want to just try that for like 2 months and just like, because I have a friend who does it, and you know, she does a lot of different venues, and I thought that'd be cool to do. And I was like, I want to be like, I want to do that, but also like while I'm performing as a DJ, sing and perform and sort of like remix my own songs and sort of combine my music side of things and my singing side and my like use of instruments with like the technical and like the sort of EDM side. And yeah, it's just sort of for me as an artist and for me as a person, I'm just sort of, you know, trying out new things and seeing what I want to actually do, and seeing what I like and seeing what I hate. And yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
That's awesome. Now, you are such a cool chick. You have a really fabulous song here. Just from looking at your social media, you don't take yourself too seriously, which I think is fantastic. So, my final question, and normally I wouldn't ask you this just because a lot of artists that we have on this program would not get the humor and would not understand what I'm trying to get across.
Let's hope I get it.
You are a cool chick. How many times either on social media or at these shows do you get hit on? Cuz I bet there are tons of guys who are either trying to get your phone number or whatever, cuz you're blonde, you've got a cool voice, you're a cool chick. You know, one of the things me and my buddy Ross, the boss, the rubber rousing ringleader, used to ask a lot of these the female artists that we interviewed back in the day for Jiggy TV is, we're like, how many restraining orders do you have on various men across the country? But
Yeah, I've been hit on like a few times, like online.
of course, of course.
Ones at like a gig I did. But I don't know. I feel like I keep to myself a little bit. Like I'm polite and like, but I'm sort of short with like my answers to a lot of, like, if I'm not interested or like I'm in my business mind. I feel like a lot of people don't bother me, maybe because you can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's good. I'm glad you've got that, because I'll tell you, going and covering concerts over the years and interviewing artists and things, I always feel so sorry for a lot of these female artists, because you guys have to put up with a lot of crap off these pervs that come to these shows. and so a lot of times, you know, just like you were saying, you of course you get hit on online. I guess they figure they're behind a keyboard and a phone. They can be
Yeah.
Well, you have got quite the future ahead of you, my friend, and a lot of your stuff is amazing. Before we let you go, do you have any tour plans or anything in the works?
Not in the works, but I sort of have ideas. I definitely obviously want to sort of tour around Australia first.
Yes.
But my biggest dream is to sort of go to the United States. I'm actually
That's
going
awesome.
next year, just for sort of like a holiday. But maybe I'll do some like music-based stuff while I'm over there. connect with artists. I have a lot of like artists that I know that are based there, so sort of just like connect with them, see if I like hit them up and see what we can do. But yeah, it's just sort of making a foundation here, I think, is like the first most important thing, because it's like my home, and there's no place that you can go like where your supporters are more loyal than I feel like your home. And so that's like my first thing. But I also, I want to go to the United States. I want to go to Europe, just sort of like around everywhere, pretty much. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you are tremendous. Thank you for taking time and being on the program today. And before we let you go, how do people support your music and everything online?
Yeah, so I mean, you can just support my music by streaming my music. If you check me out on Spotify, check me out on SoundCloud, check me out on YouTube, subscribe, and yeah, just add me to playlists. I think is like the most helpful thing, because
you know, that's a secret little deal that I did not really know about until like, I don't know, about a month or two ago. We had somebody on and they kept talking about adding us to playlists, and I'm like, okay. And I guess you guys get notifications and crap, and so
it helps Spotify listens. Like, it helps increase your Spotify listens, because you know, if that playlist is being played for other music, even if you're not listening to like my music on your playlist, I still get that monthly listen from that playlist. So like, it's a really helpful thing. And yeah, just sort of like just enjoying my music, I think, is the most important thing. I'm not really like picky with you know, I guess with money and like followers and stuff. I just want at least one person out there to enjoy my song and to relate to it, and then to sort of feel the emotion that I was feeling during the writing process. I think that's my biggest sort of goal in life.
Well, thank you. You have been amazing. Definitely look forward to chatting with you again. Keep us updated on new music, and we will talk to you soon. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
Appreciate it. There she goes. She is fantastic, and we have got more coming up on the other side. It is 990 WBOB, and of course you can find us each and every week